And that is so unfair. That is so unfair on you doing your best. That is so unfair on your child that even if they try everything else, but that gap, there's only one person out there who can fill that gap. You know, when you come from a small township, everyone knows everyone. So everyone knows everyone's news. I'm like, why? Why? So this is not an easy video for me. I debated whether to do it or not, but my heart wants to do it. I know it might be triggering for some of you, and if it is, I'm sorry. So I was watching during the week a video, yeah, Mandy Amanda, millennial mommy's video, where she was sharing her journey that her daughter, her eldest daughter, is now going to a school for 21 days where she's going to seek help for her mental health. And it really broke my heart because she is only 15, turning 16, that already in her life she has experienced so much. As much as I'm so grateful that she has a mom who's able to support her and that she has resources that are available for her, but I get so angry that another child is rejected by their parent. Another child has to question her worth. Another child has to question her identity and wonder if there is something wrong with her, because adults have decided that bona they are going to take the easy way out. An adult can just say, nah, I'm choosing not to be in your life, and it's okay. And it's so sad that this is still happening. I'm 39 years old and this is still happening. This is something that happened to me 39 years ago. So if you don't know, I was raised by a single mom. And the reason why my mom ended up being a single parent was that my dad was able to say, no, I'm not coming. My dad was able to say, I'm not going to raise Joey with you. I'm not going to take care of this child. And as much as people can now say that people can choose whether they want the child or not, but why should it be on the woman to choose whether she wants the child or not? Why should it be her responsibility alone? When the baby was made, it was both people who were involved. And I hate that society, even till today, they make it seem as if like it's literally up to you as a woman to decide whether you want a child or not. Why should you have to carry the guilt? Why should you have to carry the burden? And if men don't want kids, why are they not taking the necessary steps to make sure that they don't have kids? And here I'm talking to those men who at the end of the day, they are busy engaging in all these things without any protection. Then after they turn around and say, I thought you are protecting yourself, or I thought you are preventing, or I don't want a child. Why should it be a woman's responsibility? Like we are in the year 2023 and we still have questions like that. We still have people who will say things like that, that if you win, it must be on you. So I really hate that. Anyway, going back to, so I was watching her video and it was so emotional. It was so heartbreaking. I felt for her. I felt for her daughter. I felt for her family because, yeah, no mother should go through this. And most importantly, no child should go through this. No child should wonder if they are loved. No child should wonder if they are a mistake. No child should wonder if they did something wrong, even if they didn't do anything wrong, just because an adult has decided that I don't want to be in your life. And that was my story. I was raised by my mom and my late grandmother and grandfather. And at first, I think I didn't understand. I thought they never hid that my mom is my mom, but I was calling my mom, my grandmother and my grandfather, I was calling them mama and papa because I was listening to my aunts and my mom who were calling them like that. Then when I started, I think I was in primary school, my aunts, because they knew the story about my dad, they will talk about him sometimes. My dad's family, they had a shop. They had shops and butcheries and whatever. So when we were going to school, we will pass there and they will talk about it, that, oh, Kiko Papa Joey, Kiko Joey's family. I didn't really understand it. I was still a baby. I think I was 6 or 7 at that time. But I will hear those rumors, you know. So I grew up knowing that I do have a father. I did not know the story of why he was not in my life, and I had my grandfather instead. But as the more I grew up, I wanted to know. There was this yearning within me to know. And I think this is so unfair and so sad for single mothers, because as much as you can be a good mother to your child, there is a natural yearning within your child to know their father. And it has nothing to do with you being a good parent or not. It is just there. That is how they are wired. That is something within you. That is something within us, to want to know, who is my father? Where do I come from? You know, and I know that it can be triggering for mothers, especially if you have raised this child all alone, and one day they just wake up and say, who's my dad? Or I want a relationship with my dad. It can make you feel like maybe you have failed them, or it can make you feel like maybe there is something wrong that you did. I just want to encourage you and remind you that it has nothing to do with you. It is something that is inborn. And that was the case with me. I wanted to know about my father. I started daydreaming about him. I started creating little stories of our reunion, of how it's going to be, that the day when I meet him, I'm going to be so excited, and he will be excited, and he's going to tell me that he loves me, and he always was looking for me. Like, I had a whole plan. I remember I used to put all my reports, literally, I used to save them and store them, because the plan was that when I meet him, I'm going to show him my reports, and he's going to be proud of me. He's going to tell me that, oh, well done, my girl. That was me. This was happening behind the scenes. I was not talking to my mom about it. I was still hearing about my father. By now, I knew that, but it was never directly from my mom. By now, I knew that he's a teacher. I knew that he's married to someone else. So that did not stop me. In my mind, we were all going to be a blended family. Everything was going to go well. We are going to meet each other, and yeah, they were going to love me, because obviously I'm lovable, I'm Joey, I'm cute, hey? That is what my grandmother, because my grandmother and my grandfather, like, they were my biggest cheerleaders. I remember I used to dance for them, I used to sing, I used to read the newspaper for my grandfather, because he loved the newspaper. So I will read for him, and he will be so excited, and he will be calling everyone and telling them, look, Joey can read. So I grew up affirmed. It's not like I was not receiving love from my immediate family. My grandparents were there. I was like their last born. My mom was also there, and my aunts, everyone was running around me. They were giving me all the love that they could give me. The reason I'm sharing this is for that single mother who feels like maybe your child is because she doesn't feel the love. No, the reason why she wants her father is because she doesn't feel the love. That is not the reason. She could feel the love, she could know the love, but still there is a gap that only a father can feel. And that is so unfair. That is so unfair on you doing your best. That is so unfair on your child, that even if they try everything else, but that gap, there's only one person out there who can fill that gap. So that was me until I think when I was in standard 6, I finally decided that I told my mom that I want to meet my dad. My mom was against the idea. She was like, what for? Why do you need? My mom, by then, she was married to my stepfather, and we had my sister already. I was like, yes, my younger sister. And it wasn't because she wasn't even saying that you want to destroy my marriage or whatever. It wasn't about that. She didn't understand why I wanted to meet him after all these years. And because he's never been there. So she couldn't understand, how could I miss something that I never experienced? How could I miss someone that was never really part of my life? But I was very stubborn about it. I wanted to meet him, and at the end of the day my mom was like, okay, fine. So I didn't even go with my mom to him. I went alone. I remember I went with my friend Katleho. I went to him. But so I'm just thinking about it. The lever that I had to actually go there and approach him on my own. I think I was 11 or 12. Yeah, so I went there and I introduced myself. I told him my name. I told him I'm whose child, and I told him that I believe that he's my father. No, he was smiling, you know. He was like, how, who told you? And I'm like, no, my mom and my grandmother, my grandparents. So I always knew, and everyone. Then I remember there was a lady passing by, and he called her, an old lady. He was like, who is this? Asking the lady about me. Then that old lady was like, no, this is definitely your family's child. Then he's like, how do you know? Then she said, I can see the head, how my head is shaped. So my head, the shape of my head is from my father's family side. I didn't know that. So then after he left, then the lady passed. So it was like he was playing some mind games with me, you know, because I didn't understand why did he need to ask the lady. And he was not denying that he was my father. Mara, I don't know. So then, okay, fine. For me, it was like, okay, if he's not denying it, it means he knows. And also, I think in my mind, I never put a gap that he could deny me, because everyone knew that he's my father. Everyone, like, you know, when you come from a small township, everyone knows everyone. So everyone knows everyone's news, you know. So everyone knew that he's my father. So I did not even have that doubt that he can deny me. That was fine with me. Then I asked him if he can buy me clothes, because I was going to high school, if he can buy me school clothes. He said yes, he will buy me. Then, okay, I was very excited. I remember going back home. I told my mom that everything went well. But my mom was uncomfortable. Like, you could see. She was like, oh, okay, that's good. But I could see that she was not really sure. And because of the way my mom was, she never, not even once, one thing about my mom, she never said anything bad about my father. She never even said anything about the fact that he rejected me when she was pregnant. She never even shared how they broke up. She didn't share about what happened when they went to report that she's pregnant. You know, traditionally, if a girl is pregnant, the family will go and report that your son has damaged our child and what. So that information, I got it from my grandparents and my aunts, that when they went, according to them, the mother, that is my paternal grandmother, she was like, no, my child cannot be involved with a poor girl. Because the family, my paternal family, they were teachers and business people and lawyers and what. So while my family, they were still trying, like they were poor and they were trying. My grandmother was a domestic worker. My grandfather worked for something like Pick It Up, if you are in Joburg, that is waste removal. But we were okay. So my mother never shared that. I come to think of it, until today, she never really told me that. I heard it from other people. So even when I went to my father and came back excited, I could see she had concerns, but she never sat down and said, oh, 1, 2, 3. So she left me. The agreement was that I will go back after on a Friday to go and pick up the clothes. I don't remember if we agreed on the clothes or the money. So on a Friday, we went with my friend Katleo. Katleo was always there. So we went, I get there, and okay, the guy, so okay, I'm here, what, small talk. Then he starts telling me about his daughter, his younger daughter, the one who comes after me, how she is doing so well at school, how brilliant she is, you know, the way she goes to this multiracial school and what. And I'm like, oh, I'm happy for her and stuff. But I couldn't understand, why are you telling me this while I'm going to schools in the township? I felt like he was somehow flexing, somehow he was, I don't know, it didn't feel right, but I was like, okay, let me listen and see where this goes. Then I asked him, okay, did you get the clothes or did you get the money? Then he says to me, can we go for a DNA test? I'm like, why? It's like, no. Oh no, I said yes, we can, but I was shocked. I didn't expect him, because he agreed to give me the money for school uniform, like school uniform, guys. I wasn't asking for money for Christmas clothes or anything, for school uniform. So I was shocked that he's saying, can we go for a DNA test? But I was like, okay, I have nothing to hide. I trust my mom. I know who my mom is. I said, okay, it's fine, we can go. Then where are we going to go? He said, we'll go to Pretoria. He will come and fetch me tomorrow, which will be a Saturday. Then I said, okay, fine. It felt a bit like he's rejecting me, but I was like, okay, he's got it right. You see, I've always been that child. I was old beyond my years. So I went back. I didn't even cry. I went back. I told my mom that he asked for a DNA test. My mom said, okay, so you are going? I said, yes. My mom didn't say anything. Even then, she didn't say any negative thing, She just said, okay. And on my assumption tag, I did say that I think the person that I am today is because my mom was so sweet and cool and relaxed. Because for me, I think I would have screamed or said something. And that is why I love Mandy. I love Mandy. I love her attitude. I like it when she gets angry. I like it when she calls out her bad dads. I love it. I cheer for her. I love it. I think we need that level of being angry, because there is no way this guy can be okay, can be living like normal when you are suffering. And I know that sometimes you will feel like, let me just let it go for peace sake, for my own sake, for my own mental health, which I totally understand and respect. But if you are able to fight, if you have the capacity to fight, please fight. Looking back at how I struggled, how my life was so challenging, I wish my mom did fight. I wish she did take him to maintenance court. And I know that maintenance court is not an easy process, but I wish that she did that. The fact that he enjoyed life while my mom had to struggle with me. My mom had to drop out of school. She had to work menial jobs to get by. The fact that I had to struggle, I had to go to ordinary schools because my mom did not have the money while he was living the life. I wish at that time, I wish she did fight. But I understand that as people, we are not the same and our journeys are not the same. So coming back to the story, Saturday came, he did not come. Sunday came, he did not come. Then the following week, I went back to him. Yeah, I was that child. So this is, I hope as you are listening to my story, you understand where your child is. If they are currently in that period where they are asking these questions or they want to know their father, and you feel like, why can't they just let it go? I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go. So I went back to him and I asked him, why didn't you come? He came up with some lame excuse. I didn't even understand. And then he started talking about, he kept on talking about his daughter and what, like, my prayer is that we are raising better men. My prayer is that we are raising men who will be emotionally intelligent, men who will be able to be accountable. That is my prayer. So I remember saying to him, why do you want a DNA? Was Mama busy? I said it like that. Mama Nali busy. And he was so shocked. He's like, how? Why are you saying that? And I said to him, that is the only reason why you will want a DNA, because you do not trust that you are my father. And maybe Mama at that time, while she was dating you, she had other boyfriends. Then he was like, no, she didn't. So I didn't understand. If you know that she did not have any other boyfriends, then why do you want a DNA test? So I think that was just a delay strategy from him to not support me. And I couldn't understand. For the first 12 or 13 years of my life, he never took care of me. My mom was responsible literally for everything. And here I am coming, asking for school uniform. And instead of giving me that money, you are coming up with stories. I lost my respect right there. And I remember going back home crying and writing in my journal and asking God, why did you give me him as my father? Why couldn't you give me someone who was going to love me, someone who was going to protect me and cherish me? Like, I lost my respect. All those dreams I had about me and him, all those fantasies I had about how it was going to be, at that moment they were crushed. And my mom, one thing I appreciated when I went back and I was crying to my mom, what I stood out for me is that she didn't say, I told you so. She did not blame me. So even if you are going through this, if your child is disappointed by their father after seeking them, please don't be busy shaming them for wanting their father. Don't be busy telling them that, yeah, I told you he's the type of person. Please comfort them. Be the parent that you have always been, the parent who's always stood, the parents who chose to stand for them. So don't, as much as it might be tempting to say, I told you so, please, at that moment, they don't need that. Just comfort them. And I thank God that's what my mom did. She comforted me and she told me we'll make a plan. I'll get the school uniform. And God did provide. So that was the last time I spoke to him while I was still in high school. After that, I didn't speak to him. Then there was a friend of mine who stayed on the same street as my father's family, father's family. And one time she comes to me, she's like, yo, you are a stepmom. I'll call her that because even though Nale and now we don't have a relationship, we never had. She's like, your stepmom called me, she was looking for you. And I'm like, why? So apparently she told my friend that she must tell me that I must stop eating her husband's money. I'm like, which money? Which money? And if I don't stop, she's going to come to my school and she's going to show me. How? Which money? Because I've never received any money from him. I never literally received anything from him. And the one time I asked him for money, he didn't come through for me. So I told my mom what my friend said because I didn't understand. And my mom, being the person she was like, God, just ignore it. But my aunt, Mani Mabula, I spoke about her. My aunt was like, never, not with my niece. So my aunt, I think they met somewhere and she spoke to her that, please never ever threaten my niece again. And we are not receiving anything from your husband. Please leave us alone. Mara, my issue is that after I was reflecting about it, even if he was taking care of me, even if he was giving me money, isn't he supposed to be? He is my father. I am his child. And the fact that I was there before she was even in the picture. He had me before they were involved. So shouldn't she have wanted him to come and take care of me? You know? And I think that is the other issue, that the other controversial topic that continues to happen, where is the issue of baby mamas and married women, that married women, they don't want their husband to take care of their kids. Why are we punishing kids for adult mistakes? And as a woman, as a mother, shouldn't you want another child to be okay? I don't care about your relationship with the baby mama, but what about the child? The child is innocent. So should we punish the child for adults' mistakes? And yeah, this is something I remember having a conversation with my friend Katleo, and she was like, hey, it's not as easy as that. And I understand that it's complicated. I understand when feelings are involved, it is not that easy. Mara, my point will always be, the child is innocent. We should never punish a child for adult mistakes. remove the child, find a way. And if you are in that situation, think about the child. That child did not do anything. And you can say the parent did something. Yes, the parent did something. Punish the parent, but do not punish the child. So that was my thing. I couldn't understand why she was comfortable enough to say that I should not, I should not eat her husband's money. And this person is my father. So when you are out there with your kids and your kids are living their life and you are okay that there is a Joey somewhere who's suffering and you're like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. But that was fine. So I never met her. I continued with my life. And after my aunt spoke to her, I guess she never spoke to my friend again about me. So I continued until I reached matric, and we never met. Like, our path, it was so weird. We were staying in the same place, and our place is small, but we never crossed. Our paths never crossed. But deep down inside, I still had that yearning for him. And I remember on my birthday, every year, I had this ritual. So when I will pray and I will write in my diary and I will say things that like, God, thank you so much that he was not part of my life. Maybe if he was part of my life, I would be selfish. Or if he was part of my life, I would be spoiled. Or But looking back at it, I do not recommend it. I wish I did not have to suffer and struggle like that when I had a father who had the means to make sure that I'm okay. But at that time, I needed to find a way to make peace with it. I needed to find a way to protect my heart from more heartbreak. So one of the things was to look at the worst case scenario. What would have happened if he was in my life? And there was a time, I remember having a conversation with him, and he was like, oh no, it was after I passed matric. So there is I would say I call him my bonus father. This was, God will always come through for you. This was a community member. He knew my aunt, and my aunt Mani Mapula told him that, actually my sister has an older daughter. She loves school. Her name is Joey. Then we met and we just formed this bond. Like he just loved me as a father, and I loved him as my father. And it was so nice to have that male affirmation, that was so, it was so nice. He loved books like me. He loved reading. He loved education. He was a man of integrity, and I truly thank God. I remember he used to expose me to things. He would take me out with my late friend Buddha, and he will say, I don't want you to be impressed when a guy takes you out for KFC and you think it's all that, because already you've seen it from me. He was, I don't know, guys. I would say he was not dating my mom. He was not dating anyone in my family. He just chose me and loved me. And I always say that, look at how God loved me, that he gave me, I would say he covered me. I don't know, so many people did not understand. People thought that he's grooming me, or they thought that he's interested. But till today, nothing like that. He was just there. He was just present. So when I passed matric, everyone was so excited. My mom and everyone. I got a distinction. It was that time when we got the newspaper, so they could see me. It will show your name and surname, and that I got a distinction. So him and Abusemi, they went to the same church, and Abusemi, I think he passed there. Abusemi told him that, oh, Joey actually passed. She got a distinction and what. So I think he was aware of that. So one time I met him before I went to varsity, and he's like, oh, I heard you did well. I'm like, thank you. I spoke to him as if I'm speaking to a stranger. I said, thank you. And he said, oh, you are clever like me. I was like, no, I'm not clever like you. Sorry. And he asked why. I said, because now I am not clever only academically, but I am also clever outside. I will never reject my child. And he was so shocked because he did not expect it. And after that, I just left because I did not understand that now that I've passed with a distinction, all of a sudden I'm good enough to be your daughter. And when it suits you, you want to accept me. But when it suits you, you don't know me. Like I must be your hidden thing. And I just left him and continued with my life. I went to varsity. When I went to varsity, I was supposed to go, the day we were supposed to go, I remember it so clearly. It turned out we did not have money for petrol. I would say we borrowed someone else's car, and he thought the person would give us with petrol because, yeah, they know me and they know the story that what's happening. In the morning when we are supposed to leave, there was no petrol. We had no money. I would say we didn't have money. My mom, the money that she had, she was receiving from a grant. She bought me a few clothes because our varsity, it was a scholarship-based one, Cedar City Campus. So what was it? We were expected to wear formal wear. I remember she bought me like a skirt, formal pants, a shirt, just the basics to be able to go and just attend, because I had already missed a week of classes, of lessons, because of the issue of money. So then we couldn't go. I remember going to the bathroom, our toilet, yeah, it was a toilet. It was outside the house. I had not built the house for my mom yet, so it was outside. I remember after Abusemi left and went back to work because he had taken leave, thinking that he's bringing me to Joburg. So he left. I remember going to the toilet and I was crying and I'm like, God, why? Why is this happening to me? Now I have this opportunity to go to school and things are not coming together. When am I going to stop suffering? When am I going to stop going through this? And I literally had a voice saying that, why don't you kill yourself? Why don't you kill yourself? Then all this suffering will end. And at that moment, I know that it's God. We did not have a telephone. We did not have a cell phone. My neighbor, they called me and they said, there is a phone call for me. They had a landline. So when I went, it was Abusemi. And I don't know. Maybe God told him at that time to call me, because he was like, you know what, my baby, I know you are disappointed, but we are strong people. You are strong. We are going to make a plan. You will go to school. You will go to school. And I started crying, telling him that I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting, because it feels like I must always be fighting, I must fight. And he just affirmed me and reminded me of who I am, and reminded me that I will go through this. So after that, I just went back to the house and I prayed and I wrote on my journal and I started writing, what if it doesn't happen? What would be plan B? But my mom was also there. She said to me, we'll make a plan, sis. Even if it means I must go to the loan sharks, we'll make a plan so that you can go to school. So yeah, that's what happened. And I think that is why I was so triggered when I saw Mandy's video. My heart breaks for her. My heart breaks for her. And I'm praying for them. I'm praying that Alwande will come out of that school stronger and better than before. That she will know that she is loved and she is enough. And that even if this guy rejected her, it does not mean there is something wrong with her. And earlier today, I was watching Mandy's interview with Mrs. Is it Mrs. Law? Yeah, Mrs. Law. And she was sharing the story and she was talking about how when she was 12, the guy, I'm going to call him the guy, said to Alwane that I am busy with my sons. Like how? How do you say that to a child? There is something really wrong with you. How could you say that to an innocent child? And when I heard that, I remembered that is what my father did. And now looking at my life, I wish I didn't go through that. But I know that I'm able to be compassionate for other kids because I went through that. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that you are going through that. If you are raising a child who's going through that, I am so sorry. Yeah. So I finally managed to go to school. My mom, yeah, she made a plan so that I can go to school. And that is why I will forever be grateful for that woman, for the sacrifices that she made for me. And I will forever be grateful for Amtseni, for what he did. I honestly believe that if I did not have Amtseni, I will not be married today, because if I saw my husband, I will never believe that he is for real. Amtseni is the one who made me believe that good men do exist. Because what kind of a love is that? To love a child who's not yours. To love a child you are not even involved with their mom or any of their family member, but to love her and see her. And I truly thank God for that, because that love protected me. So I managed to go to varsity, and then I think I met my dad again when I was home after I had Oki, and that week Habi was coming to pay lobola. And I say pay lobola, it sounds wrong. Do we pay lobola or what do we do? Yeah, but he was there. And I met him in town, and he was like, I heard that you are getting married, so why are you not telling me? I said, who are you? It's like, how? What do you mean? I said, I don't know you. I don't have a father. My only father is Awitsemi, and he's going to be there, but I do not know you. So I left. Then that was it until I think after my mom passed away and my grand, there was a time my sister phoned and she said he came to our home looking for me. Then he asked for my number. I spoke to him on the phone like for a few seconds. He was like, no, hi, I hope I want Kapelu. What is I want Kapelu? That you are not, guys, I don't know. Yeah, something like maybe wherever I am, I have cursed him or something like that. And I told him that I don't even think about you. I'm okay. I've forgiven you. I've accepted. I've released you. I'm not even thinking about you. I thank God for the life that I have. I'm happy. I'm okay. So then he took my numbers and said he will call me. And just as on brand as he has always been, he never called. And I was not surprised. I did not expect anything from him. Then the last time I heard, it was when he passed away. And they called me, a friend of mine told me. And I said, I'm sorry to his family. I know for his kids and his wife and his family, this is a huge loss. But for me, it wasn't anything because I did not know him. He was not part of my life. He has never been part of my life. And he chose not to be part of my life. And we had a conversation. It was sort of a disagreement where they were asking me to attend the funeral. I was like, for what? He said, no, just to say. I'm like, why? We did not have a relationship. Why would I go and attend his funeral? Why should I be there? He did not want me when he was alive. Why should I force myself when he's gone? And people felt like I was being hard, and then for the fact that I'm a Christian. But I believe that I had forgiven him. I was not angry with him, but he was not part of my life, and I was okay with it. Whatever we had was over. So that is where I was. Sorry about the noises. My sister-in-law just came in. Yeah, so for me, I did not see a point. And I really hate this concept that we have, especially as Black people, where when a person passes away, it's like whatever wrong they've done, they get a clean slate. So if a person did anything, all of a sudden we must forgive them for everything, and we must act as if now they are angels. But knowing that when they were here on earth, they did all these things. I do not believe in that. If you were a horrible person while you were alive, when you pass away, you are still a horrible person. It's between you and God. And I'm not going to pretend that Now that you are passed away, then all of a sudden you are an angel. And also the other thing, I do not believe in ancestral worship. So I do not believe that he has any power over me, because I know that my life is in God's hand. One of the songs that I really love, and it comforted me even after I had Asa, the song, that song is Daddy is Home by Travis Green. I remember there is a part where it says he's never missed a game. And I was crying, crying, remembering that all throughout the stages, God was there. He has always been there. He's a father to the fatherless, a husband to the widows. He has always been there. He's always been my father. He's been carrying me. He's been putting the right people in my path. He's been putting the right people to support me, and knowing that he's been there when I was performing, when I was debating. He's been there for everything, for all the things I wish my dad was there. It really comforted me that I have a heavenly father who always loved me, who always accepted me. And sometimes that is all our kids are going to have, especially if the father does not want to be there. If it's possible, place them, make sure that they have positive male role models around them who are going to speak life over them, who are going to love them, who are going to remind them that it is not them. The problem is not them. The problem was never them. The problem is the adults, and they should never feel bad. And if your child needs psychological help and you are able to afford it, please give them. Do not minimize it. Just because I know growing up, it was a norm to not have fathers, which was wrong, but it was a norm. Like if you had both parents, we used to see it as something like, yo, that is weird. And when you did not have a father, it was a norm, which was a wrong thing. But if you look at things currently, the kids of today, it's a norm for them to see both parents. Most of them, they think it's normal. Like I know with my kids, they think it's supposed to be there. When they talk to other kids, they will be asked, where's your dad? So I have to teach them. Sometimes some families, they don't have both parents for different reasons. So as much as maybe you might have survived staying without a father, please do not make your child feel bad for not being okay that their father is not there. Please support them while you are also supporting yourself. And lastly, I am so sorry. I'm sorry that you are going through that. I'm sorry that your child is going through that. And I pray that your child will always know that they are loved, that they were never a mistake, that there is a God who knew that this world needs this child in order for it to be better. May they always remember that. May they always know that. And may you seek help when you need it. And I'm also available. You can check me on my DMs. Thank you so much.